If you're like me, you enjoy strategy games, stealth games, and even platform games. But there's something magical when these elements are skillfully blended into a single package. In 2002, Sucker Punch unveiled a pioneer masterpiece in the stealth game genre that will leave a lasting mark amidst the competition posed by the irregular Splinter Cell, the sequel to Hitman, Hitman 2 Silent Assassins. Sucker Punch punched expectations in the mouth and delivered an unforgettable experience with Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus. Welcome back to the Retro Fancies Retrospective. If you're as captivated by this content as I am, eager to see more, remember to show your support by liking, commenting, and subscribing. And don't overlook the importance of stealing that notification bell. Now let's dive headfirst into this. Things happened in 2002. Let's rewind 5 years to where this all began. The genius of the story lies with Chris Zimmerman, a technical lead at Microsoft. After dedicating almost a decade to the company, Zimmerman felt a growing disconnect from his work and yearned for something more. He approached his colleagues, Brian Fleming, a program manager, and Bruce Oberg, a software design engineer, with the idea of venturing into the world of gaming. Despite the three being programmers, only one of them possessed knowledge of game development at that time, leaving a corporate giant like Microsoft for a dream that might seem unconventional, but sometimes personal happiness overweighs financial gains. Zimmerman candidly explained, "We are tired of working at a big company." Joined by co-workers Darrell Park and Tom Saxton and Kathy Saxton, they embarked on their own journey and established their own company. The initial step was selecting a name that encapsulated their mission and could be secured as a web domain. After narrowing down a list of 10 names, Zimmerman turned to his wife for feedback. Uninterested in the name, she offhandedly remarked, "As long as it's not Sucker Punch." Drawing inspiration from his wife's less than enthusiastic response, Zimmerman adopted the idea that something a woman in her 30s might dislike might resonate with a teenage boy. And so, in October 1997, Sucker Punch was born. With the name aligned to their vision, their next objective was crafting a video game for the Nintendo 64. Armed with limited industry experience, the team invested a year into building the first level of a game. Diving wholeheartedly into the project and funding from their own pockets, the Sucker Punch team pitched their creation to numerous video game publishers, including Nintendo, THQ, Acclaim, Activision, Sony, and EA. Following their appearance at E3 in 1999, they captured Ubisoft's attention, leading to a publishing deal. Later that year, Sucker Punch proudly released their critically acclaimed game, Rocket Robot on Wheels. Having achieved their initial goal in launching the game on the Nintendo 64, Sucker Punch shifted gears to their next endeavor, this time targeting the 6th generation of gaming consoles. Their new project revolved around a stealth platform game, and interestingly, the protagonist of this game would be a raccoon. This choice holds a touchy sense of irony considering the main antagonist in their previous project, Rocket, was a raccoon named Jojo. Armed with the fresh concept, Sucker Punch amicably parted ways with Ubisoft and sought a new publisher. Sony embraced Sucker Punch as a raccoon-eccentric project, leading to 3 years of intensive development. On September 23, 2002, the world was introduced to Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus. These are the 4 main characters in Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus. Sly Cooper, voiced by Kevin Miller, is an 18-year-old male raccoon. Sly is the last in a line of master thieves. His early life was marred by tragedy as he witnessed the Thievius Five steal his family's precious Thievius Raccoonus, leading to the loss of his parents. Sly's past intertwined with the loyal friends Bentley and Murray when they met at an orphanage. Together they formed the Cooper gang. He wields a versatile hook cane cherished from his family heirloom. Bentley, voiced by Matt Olson, is an 18-year-old male turtle that stands as Sly's unwavering companion and tech-savvy expert in hacking and electronics. Murray, voiced by Chris Murphy, is an 18-year-old hippopotamus that occupies the role of a getaway driver for Sly's gang. He shares history with Sly and Bentley as they grew up together in the same orphanage. Murray's impressive driving skills stem from his prior gig as a pizza delivery boy, a job that also involved hot wiring cars. And last but not least, we have Carmelita Fox, voiced by Roxana Ortega. A 21-year-old fox, Carmelita Fox operates as a captivating blend of a love-hate relationship in Sly's life. Driven by her determination to apprehend Sly, she relentlessly pursues him with the intent to place him behind bars. Beneath her stern exterior, Carmelita harbors romantic feelings for Sly that can complicate her law enforcement duties. The story commences on the vibrant streets of Paris, France, where our protagonist, Sly Cooper, takes center stage. Sly, driven by his master thief lineage, embarks on a daring mission to steal a vital file from Inspector Carmelita Fox. As he infiltrates the police station, his path converges with the vault. Its combination is solved by Bentley, one of Sly's partners. With the converted file secure in the office behind him, Sly finds himself face to face with the tenacious Carmelita Fox, whose determination to apprehend him is palpable as the history they share. However, amidst their verbal exchange, it's evident that beneath the surface of their rivalry, a complex connection lingers, although that's not the center of this game's story. In an electrifying turn of events, Carmelita opens fire, determined to halt Sly's escape. Swiftly evading her gunfire, Sly zigzags his way to a waiting van, an escape route was provided by his partner in crime, Murray. Sly speeds away, leaving Carmelita in the police station in the rearview mirror. With the thrill of this escape coursing through his veins, the narrative briefly pauses to unveil the layers of Sly's life that have paved the way for this moment.
Again, my gang and I had given Inspector Carmelita Fox the slip. I was surprised to see how well she took it. Finally, the secret police file I'd been searching for all these years. With this, I could avenge my family and regain possession of our most valued treasure. It all began when I was just a kid, bouncing on my father's knee. You see, I come from a long line of master thieves who kept all their secrets of sneaking and stealing in an ancient book, the Thievius Raccoonus. Anyone who read it learned to be especially sneaky, which is why we specialize in stealing from criminals. After all, there's no honor, no challenge, no fun stealing from ordinary people. You rip off a master criminal, and you know you're a master thief. Well, on the night I was supposed to inherit the book, 5 visitors came unannounced to our door. My father fought to protect us, but the gang of villains known as the Fiendish Five overpowered him and ransacked our house until they found the Thievius Raccoonus. Our family's manual of thieving greatness fell into their filthy hands. They tore the book into 5 pieces and split it up, each villain disappearing to the farthest corners of the world to commit dastardly crimes. Broken alone, I was dumped at the town orphanage. There I met 2 guys who became my lifelong buddies and trusted crew. Bentley, techno genius and strategist supreme, and Murray, part-time driver and full-time burden. Together we pledged to track down the Fiendish Five, avenge my father, and steal back the Thievius Raccoonus. I knew I was about to face the toughest test of my life. On this mission, I would either become a master thief like my ancestors before me, or fail and allow my family name to bite the dust.
Understand Sly's motivation to avenge his family's name and reclaim their legacy. Let's dive into the mission Tide of Terror. As Sly embarks on his quest to dismantle the Fiendish Five, his first target is Sir Raleigh the Frog. Raleigh's background reveals that he was born into wealth and privilege, yet grew weary of his aristocratic life, eventually carrying his own niche in the realm of piracy. His criminal prowess earned him a spot with the Fiendish Five as a machinist. With this context, we set the stage for the level. Sly and his crew set their sights on Raleigh's last known whereabouts off the southern coast of the Isle of Wrath. The first job in this mission is to stealthy approach. Sly's objective here is to secure a key that grants access to Raleigh's hideout, the weather controller machine. Navigating through locked doors, guards, and searchlights, Sly locates the adjacent door, providing entry into the hideout. Moving to the next job, prowling the grounds, Sly spots a blimp, deducting that Raleigh is likely located there. However, obstacles stand in his way, including a high-voltage power tube requiring 3 keys for destruction. The job branches into 4 objectives: into the machine, high-class heist, the fire down below, and a cunning disguise. The order of completion is flexible. And into the machine, Sly ventures into the engine room of the boat. The mission's objective is twofold: to acquire Raleigh's treasure key and sabotage his infernal contraption. Amidst the pursuit of the sabotage, Sly contends with open furnace doors in the presence of Raleigh's henchmen diligently operating the machine, and electrified spinning fans add to the challenge. Progressing through this mission, Sly navigates to the control room, successfully securing the crucial key while simultaneously sabotaging the machinery. In high-class heist, Sly confronts the vast hoard of treasure Raleigh has stolen from sunken ships. Due to the immense wealth on display, security measures are ramped up in this level. The surrounding brim with security machines, while only 2 guards patrol the area. As Sly navigates through this treasure trove, he faces the challenge of evading searchlights, lasers, and Raleigh's henchmen. Skillfully overcoming the obstacles, Sly finally uncovers the key required to fulfill this mission's objective. In a cunning disguise, Sly infiltrates Raleigh's library to retrieve another key. With this mission, rugs are cunningly rigged with booby traps, launching darts when stepped on. Sly's only path through these perilous traps is by utilizing a protective barrel which shields him from harm. The same barrel comes as an asset as it shields Sly from guards, searchlights, and even furnaces. Maneuvering through these hazards, Sly ascends the library's 2nd floor, navigating security devices and ultimately acquiring the essential key. In order to release this last section on this map of prowling the grounds, Sly must engage in the machine wheel by running on it. Activating this mechanism triggers an immersive lift, providing Sly with access to the final mission of the area of this map, the fire down below. This mission leads Sly into the heart of the storm machine powered source room. The challenge. The environment is filled with additional searchlight and henchmen, heightening the challenge. Sly uses machine wheels once again to navigate through the level, a strategy akin to his earlier machine wheel encounter. Evading searchlight, Sly secures the key required to unlock the generator. After successfully acquiring all the keys within the section prowling the grounds, Sly proceeds to utilize these keys by inserting them into the designated slots. This action culminates in the destruction of the device controlling the high voltage electric tube generator. With this obstacle overcome, a new path emerges opposite side of prowling the ground. This new path introduces Sly into the next challenge, launching himself out of a cannon, a feat that's essential for reaching Raleigh's lair. However, accessing Raleigh's domain demands the possession of all 7 keys, with only 5 keys in hand. At this juncture, the objective within prowling the grounds expands to encompass 2 additional tasks: treasure in the depths and the gunboat graveyard. In Treasure in the Depths, Sly commands a submarine ship, embarking on an underwater expedition. His goal: put an end to Raleigh's resourceful crabs as they attempt to hoard treasure chests. Sly thwarts the efforts of these thieving crustaceans by shooting a total of 40 crabs. Successfully secures another key, propelling him forward upon his quest. In the gunboat graveyard, Sly needs to attain the final key required. Raleigh has caught wind of Sly's actions, resulting in a heightened security measure. The setting is a collection of wrecked ships. Maneuvering through the shipwreck, overcoming various security challenges, Sly secures the last key, marking the culmination of his efforts of this mission. With all 7 keys in hand, Sly launches himself from the cannon, arriving at Raleigh's location for a cinematic showdown. This level, amply named the Eye of the Storm, serves as the battleground for a dramatic boss encounter between Sly and Raleigh, centering around the Storm Machine. In his formidable frog form, Raleigh swallows a fly, causing him to expand in size, granting him the ability to leap onto Sly's platform. After about 4 to 5 of these leaps, Raleigh reverts to his original size, rendering him vulnerable. Capitalizing on this opportunity, Sly strikes back. In a tactical shift, Raleigh modifies his approach, now employing his tongue as an offensive weapon. Sly skillfully dodges this new attack, jumping over Raleigh's tongue a few times, which prompts Raleigh to shrink back into a smaller size. After this back and forth battle, Sly emerges victorious. In his final moments, Raleigh imparts a foreboding warning about the next member of the Fiendish Five, Mugshot. However, his time of reckoning arrives as Carmelita Fox, who was actively searching for Sly Cooper, apprehends Raleigh. With the battle won, Sly seizes Raleigh's portion of the Thievius Raccoonus, bringing it into the Tide of Terror mission.
Raleigh's section of the Thievius Raccoonus held detailed instructions on how to perform my ancestor Ryoichi Cooper's ninja spire jump, a technique he developed while sneaking into the thickly fortified castles of feudal Japan. Finding a way off Raleigh's boat got a little tricky with the untimely arrival of Inspector Fox, who, failing to find me, busted Raleigh and his crew. With the storm machine out of commission, boats found their way back onto the ocean, and the mystery of the Welsh Triangle faded from memory. My gang and I loafed around England for a while, enjoying the pleasant weather, and then headed back home, excited for our next heist.
After a brief retreat, Sly and his crew are back on the prowl for the next heist, aptly named Sunset Snake Eyes. This time they confront another member of the Phoenix Five, the enigmatic Mugshot. A glimpse into Mugshot's past reveals a turbulent history. Faced with childhood bullying and harassment, he found solace in the silver screen, drawn to the allure of gangster and mafia films. These cinematic tales kindle a transformative spark, molding Mugshot to emulate these ruthless characters. With aspirations forged in the fires of cinema, Mugshot embarked on a lifelong journey to emulate the gangsters who had capitalized his imagination. As time marched on, Mugshot achieved the very status he admired in those movies. He seized control of his hometown, Mesa City, Utah, constructing and sprawling a casino that displaced its citizens. His dominance reshaped the city's landscape, echoing mobsters he had idolized. As Sly and the team arrived to Mesa City, they are greeted by an area of emptiness. Resembling the Rocky Mountains, Mesa City, Utah is fitting of the backdrop stage aptly named A Rocky Start. In this stage, Sly employs a new move he acquired from Raleigh section of the Thievius Raccoonus to navigate through the city, overcoming obstacles such as henchmen and remnants of a demolished train set. Sly demonstrates his true power, successfully securing a key granting him access to Mugshot's turf and further progressing in the adventure. Upon infiltrating Mugshot's territory, Sly deduces Mugshot's location to be the fire hydrant situated above the casino, which is attributed to his identity as a bulldog. To advance towards Mugshot, Sly must gather 3 keys that will unlock the vehicle poised to ram Mugshot's casino. The available stages for this level encompass Boneyard Casino, At the Dog Track, and Murray's Big Gamble. In the mission Murray's Big Gamble, the responsibility to secure the treasure key fell upon Murray. After Sly descended the ladder, Bentley provided the briefing for the operation. Sly's task was to shield Murray from the approaching guards using a nearby blasting station. Murray's goal was to explore the area, ascending to the top where the treasure key awaited. With Sly's assistance, Murray successfully navigated his way to the top, securing the key, which completed this mission. Within the Boneyard Casino mission, Sly activated a switch to gain access to the interior. Upon entry, Bentley cautioned Sly about the vigilant guards armed with machine guns tightly patrolling the area as a cohesive unit. To reach the treasure key, Sly confronted and overcame multiple of these armed adversaries, navigating through their watchful presence. This stage also contained roulette wheels with booby traps that will alert security devices attacking Sly. Upon reaching the end of this area, a colossal roulette wheel unveiled itself. Created with glass enclosure as a center, lay covered the treasure key. Sly's challenge now involved traversing the rotating wheel in the opposite direction to reach the green spot. After hitting the green spot 3 times, the central glass dome shattered, allowing Sly to access the key. In the At the Dog Track mission, we find ourselves embarking on another adventure with Murray. This stage presents us with yet another of Murray's heart-pounding missions. The narrative unfolds as Murray casually pulls up for a hot dog stand for a quick bite when a group of Mugshot's gangsters would challenge Murray to a race for the treasure key. After encouraging words from Sly boosts Murray's determination, he gears up for the race. As the race kicked off, Murray accelerates around the track in his trusty van, facing off against 4 rival cars manned by Mugshot's gang members. Maneuvering through the twists and turns of the track, Murray strategically utilizes nitro boosts placed along the course. These boosts propel him forward, allowing him to overtake his competitors one by one. Murray completes 3 exhilarating laps around the track, gradually pulling ahead of the pack. His careful use of nitro boosts and sheer driving prowess lead him to seize first place position. Triumphantly crossing the finish line, Murray not only secures victory, but also claims the key. After successfully obtaining the keys within Mugshot's turf, Sly gains the ability to unlock the car that serves as the gateway into Mugshot's casino. Stepping into the casino's interior, Bentley informs Sly about a strategically placed elevator that can ascend to the top levels. However, Sly is not yet equipped with all the required keys to call the elevator down. The following missions are available in this section of the map: 2 to Tango, Back Alley Heist, and Straight to the Top. And Straight to the Top, Sly's challenge was to secure a key on the roof of Mugshot's casino. The prized treasure key sat behind a glass skylight. To secure it, his objective was to ascend to the level of a hanging wrecking ball positioned above the skylight. Employing the momentum of the wrecking ball to shatter the formidable glass barrier, Sly was able to access the key. Sly embarks on a rooftop adventure during the 2 to Tango mission. His goal is to reach a jewel case harboring a valuable treasure key. While making his way through the initial stage of his mission, Sly unexpectedly encounters the persistent Carmelita Fox. As she poses a threat to his escapades, their familiar banter ensues. Sly flirts, Carmelita threatens, back and forth. The mission intensifies as Sly maneuvers through the area while Carmelita employs her shock pistol in an attempt to immobilize him. As Sly climbs the rooftops, he attacks a fire hydrant, subsequently unveiling yet another treasure key and foiling Carmelita Fox's plan. As Sly reaches the next stage with Mugshot's casino, the Back Alley Heist mission comes into play. Here, Sly forcibly breaches windows to access a network of narrow alleyways. These contained passages are diligently guarded by Mugshot's henchmen and patrolled by the presence of numerous search frostbites, and dogs. Navigating through these alleyways, Sly adeptly employs his stealth prowess and climbing to triumphantly explore the area and ultimately retrieve the treasure key. With all the necessary keys in his possession, Sly uses them to unlock the locks, revealing a lever that summons the elevator downward. Ascending to the upper reaches of the casino, Sly encounters Mugshot in a mission titled Last Call. This mission sets the stage for another climactic boss battle. The showdown between Sly and Mugshot unfolds across 3 floors within the room. The combat takes a unique twist as Sly strategically hits mirrors to redirect light towards crystals. This bright maneuver not only incapacitates Mugshot, but also renders his guns useless. After a tense engagement, Sly emerges victorious, leaving Mugshot stunned and frustrated by his defeat. In the aftermath, Mugshot discloses the whereabouts of the next Fiendish Five member, Ms. Ruby. Carmelita once again enters the scene, unsuccessfully capturing Sly but opting to apprehend Mugshot instead. With his downfall, Mugshot's gambling empire crumbles and the peace is restored to Mesa City.
Mugshot's section of the Thievius Raccoonus contained an entry from my gunslinging ancestor, Tennessee Kid Cooper. His specialty was the rail walk and rail slide, moves perfected through a lifetime of theft in the Old West. Getting out of town proved to be a little more challenging than getting in. Having just missed us, Inspector Fox went for the next best thing and dragged that canine steroid case off to jail. That was the end of Mugshot's gambling empire, and Mesa City's citizens soon returned home. While me and the boys, well, we enjoyed the rest of our stay in America, and then returned to Paris, ready for our next mission.
Good time in America, Sly and his gang promptly resume their quest. Their next destination, Haiti, where they engage in the confrontation with Ms. Ruby, the mission titled Vicious Voodoo. As per her profile, Ms. Ruby's origins trace back to family voodoo mystics, resulting in a childhood marked by fear and isolation. In response, she cultivated relationships with the undead, carrying these experiences into adulthood. Ms. Ruby harnessed her supernatural abilities to engage the vengeance upon the world that shunned her. Upon affiliating herself with the Fiendish Five, she eventually withdrew from public view, retreating to the depths of the Haitian jungle. As the level commences, Sly and the gang set foot in the murky swamp, signaling the start of the Dread Swamp Path mission. Armed with the newly acquitted move from Mugshot's section of Thievius Raccoonus, Sly employs a raccoon rail walk to navigate through the terrain. Progressing through, Sly faces a section where stealth becomes paramount. Sly soon spots Ms. Ruby's lair, a crucial location. However, access to the lair hinges on obtaining the treasure key. To secure this key, Sly undertakes a task extinguishing candles scattered throughout the area. This endeavor releases a force field around the key, allowing Sly to claim it for herself. Upon infiltrating the lair, Sly arrives at the swamp's dark center. Billy promptly informs Sly of Ms. Ruby's presence within the Skull Temple. To progress to the center, Sly uses the raccoon rail walk, a skillful transversal technique. However, before accessing Ms. Ruby, Sly requires additional keys to unlock the path. 3 missions present themselves as options: the Lair of the Beast, Piranha Lake, and the Grave Undertaking. In the Lair of the Beast, Sly encounters a voodoo gate that piques his curiosity. Eager to reveal its secrets, he embarks on an investigation. Maneuvering past a locked door and battling with numerous hanging spiders, Sly is confronted by a colossal serpent. This pivotal point within the level unfolds as the snake relentlessly pursues Sly, triggering a high-stakes chase. Dodging and evading, Sly discovers the treasure key and awaits him at the end of this pulse-pounding pursuit. Within the Piranha Lake level, a valuable treasure key is concealed behind a locked gate. To procure this key, Sly must use a flamethrower mounted on top of a swamp skiff. The task entails igniting 25 tiki torches dispersed through the area, all within the time frame of 2 minutes. The essential flamethrower ammunition is sourced from local piranhas. Upon skillfully lighting 25 torches, a gateway opened, affording Sly access to the coveted key. In a grave undertaking, Sly confronts a rising tide of apparitions emerging from gravestones. Bentley, keeping a watchful eye on this paranormal scanners, alerts Sly to the haunting nature of this area. As Sly advances, he stumbles upon a particular gravestone constantly sprawling ghosts. Upon smashing this gravestone, the apparitions abruptly cease. Bentley theorizes that it serves as some form of ghost generator. By destroying these ghost generators, Sly can navigate through the area without further supernatural interference. Obtaining the key becomes a straightforward endeavor, involving a path laid out within this level. With 3 keys now in his possession from the Prowling of the Grounds mission, Sly gains access to a previously locked gate that once confined a serpent from the mission, the Lair of the Beast. As the gate is unlocked, a colossal beast crashes through the swamp, shattering the barrier. This breakthrough provides Sly with entry to a new portion out. Upon entering the new area, Sly is greeted by the sight of a cauldron sealed lid. A lock in this cauldron requires a total of 7 keys, 3 more than he already has. Opening this cauldron will pave the way for a direct path to Ms. Ruby's lair. The newly unlocked area hosts 3 new levels: Descent into Danger, A Ghastly Voyage, and Down Home Cooking. Navigating to these new levels poses an added challenge, as Sly must cleverly use the shadows of masked recovery, ensuring that guards remain unaware so they don't pose a threat to his progress. In Descent into Danger, Sly delves into the heart of Miss Ruby's operations, a waterfall brimming with bones and body parts. This serves as an assembly line for her supernatural creations. As he navigates this environment, Billy's voice cracks through the communicator, judging the grim state of the facility. Amidst his exploration, Sly is interrupted by Miss Ruby's chilling presence. Her voice through the loudspeakers, a direct link from her mind to his, an eerie reminder of her awareness of his actions and deceptions. Further along the path, Sly uses his rail walk, which leads him to the treasure key. In A Ghastly Voyage, Sly takes control of a hover blaster, navigating through a sprawling swamp. The swamp is packed with ghost rats that spawn from headstones. Using the blaster's cannon, Sly embarks on a dual mission, eliminating adversaries and clearing up barriers obstructing his path. Sly reaches the midpoint in this region. Billy contacts him via radio. He gives Sly crucial information that the following suit in the ghost production facility is highly charged ectoplasm, potentially serving as an energy source for the ghost generators. Sly's task takes a strategic turn as he targets 3 distinct generators. He destroys these 3 generators, culminating in the acquisition of another treasure key. In the mission Down Home Cooking, Billy shares with Sly an intriguing encounter involving a hovering ghost in the room. The ghost communicated through a specter wave radio, striking a deal with Bentley. The entity desired a hearty pot of gumbo, but dreaded the presence of bomb-wielding roosters. The agreement was simple. If Sly could eliminate a total of 50 chickens within a tight time frame in 1.5 minutes, the ghost pledged to hand over the treasure key in his possession. Maneuvering past the explosive files, Sly's quick actions successfully dispatched all 50 chickens, prompting the ghost to fulfill its end of the bargain and bestow the coveted treasure key. With all 7 keys in hand, Sly unlocks a cauldron, granting him access to a steam vent that propels him towards a skull, secretly harboring Miss Ruby. The deadly dance mission begins. As Miss Ruby reveals she has been anticipating Sly's arrival, in this eerie encounter, Sly navigates the area, aiming to engage Miss Ruby in combat. As Sly approaches and launches an attack, Miss Ruby uses her teleportation abilities to evade his strikes, leaving Sly to chase her. During this cat and mouse pursuit, Miss Ruby taunts Sly before having her serpent transfer him to her presence. With Sly in her grasp, Miss Ruby unleashes her mystical mojo magic opponent, requiring reflexes for successful evasion implemented through quick time button prompts resembling Simon Says. When Sly manages to close the distance, he successfully lands a blow, inflicting damage. This sequence is repeated 3 times, with the complexity of button combinations intensifying after each strike. Ultimately overcoming Miss Ruby's formidable magic, Sly emerges victorious. Post-victory, a warning surfaces concealing the next Thievius 5 member, Panda King. As Sly claims another page of the Thievius Raccoonus, Carmelita intervenes and arrests Miss Ruby for her involvement in zombie production, marking the conclusion of this level.
Ms. Ruby's section of the Thievius Raccoonus held notes from my pioneering ancestor, Sly Common. His invisibility technique allowed him to steal from corrupt pharaohs and greedy noblemen. Right on schedule, Inspector Fox's arrival cued my exit. The production of zombies, made illegal in the World Peace Accord of '71, earned Ms. Ruby a life sentence behind bars. While the gang and I enjoyed a few weeks in the tropical sunshine, working on our tans in preparation for our next caper.
The journey takes Sly and the gang to China, setting the stage for a face-off with another Thievius 5 member, Panda King. Delving into Fire in the Sky, we learn the origins of the Panda King, who emerged from humble beginnings. Born into poverty, he gazed in awe as wealthy noblemen ignited mesmerizing fireworks every New Year. Intrigued, he dedicated a decade to mastering the art, with aspirations of sharing his creations with the nobility. However, his ragged attire led to rejection and humiliation, and during this disgrace, the Panda King channeled his skill into a darker path, unleashing his explosive expertise to wreak havoc on villages across China. This fiery vendetta targeted those who had sprung him. He would join the Thievius 5 and serve as their demolition specialist. Amidst his journey, he fashioned a colossal panda statue within the Western Mountains. Here, he honed his revolutionary technique known as Flame Fu, a fusion of pyrotechnics and martial arts. Upon reaching China, setting the stage for a perilous ascent, Sly confronts adversaries skilled in martial arts as he navigates through terrain. Amidst his journey, a fireworks display unfolds, culminating in the destruction of a village. This event captures Sly's attention as he notices the source of the fireworks is a colossal statue on top of the mountains. He suspects this might be the hiding place of the Panda King, one of the Thievius 5 members. While advancing through the stage, Sly comes across a guarded key protected by monkey henchmen. Skillfully avoiding these adversaries, Sly acquires a key, unlocking access into the next area, inside the stronghold. And inside the stronghold, Billy informs Sly of a way to get inside the statue. Sly would need 3 keys to unlock fireworks that will allow him to destroy a ceiling hatch obstructing his path. The available missions are Flaming Temple of Flame, The Unseen Foe, and King of the Hill. In Flaming Temple of Flame, Sly infiltrates the training grounds concealed within the temple. This stage contains a surplus security devices and henchmen. Within this environment, Sly observes students practicing atop of bamboo sticks. Navigating past a laser-laden floor, Sly successfully secures a treasure key to the stage. In King of the Hill, once again Murray is the center of attention. Sly needs to defend Murray as he makes his way to the top of the hill and retrieve the key. This mission is exactly the same as Murray's big gamble from the mugshot episode. After defending Murray from enemies, he makes his way to the top and is able to get the treasure key. In The Unseen Foe, Sly navigates an environment marked by towering temples, offering an ideal backdrop for him to use his invisibility technique from the Thievius Raccoonus. Using his newfound ability, Sly undertakes a challenging ascent across heights of numerous temples, ultimately reaching the treasure key. With all 3 treasure keys in hand, Sly unlocks the fireworks, strategically utilizing them to clear a path for the next section of the map. Upon entering this new area, Billy reveals his calculations. His deduction being that if Sly possesses all 7 available keys, he can use the rockets as a means of ascending to the top of the statue just before it detonates. The fresh territory introduces a trio of new stages: Rapid Fire Assault, a Desperate Race, and Duel by the Dragon. In a desperate race, Sly notices Murray is in the van prepared to race. He informs Sly that while he was trying to get a snow cone, he was surrounded by monkeys urging him to race for a key. So Murray embarks on another race 3 laps around the map for a treasure key. This race is just like the At the Dog Track mission from the mugshot episode. Mary uses the nitros around the snowfield to retrieve another key. In the Rapid Fire Assault mission, Sly utilizes the hover blaster akin to the one he discovered in Miss Ruby's lair. Positioned behind the vehicle's turret, he embarks on a mission to demolish doors and take down consecutive waves of monkey guards while traversing a lengthy path en route to a treasure key. Meanwhile, the Panda King receives intel about an intruder in the vicinity, alluding to Sly's presence. Amidst the action, Sly persists until he reaches a culmination of the mission, successfully shooting down a treasure key. The last stage, Duel by the Dragon, Sly is confronted by Carmelita again. They once again have another flirtatious exchange that ends in another cat and mouse mission, where Sly must avoid Carmelita's shock pistol. Making your way through this stage, Sly activates fireworks that allows him to retrieve another key. With all 7 keys secured, Sly finally unlocks rockets, launching himself onto them for an airborne journey towards the statue to confront the next Phoenix 5 member, the Panda King, in the mission Flame Food. This stage unfolds as a gripping boss battle against the Panda King. Amidst the battle, action between the two ensues, delving into an entwined history. The Panda King, fueled by vengeance, pledges to bring down Sly. Throughout the encounter, Sly navigates to the Panda King, evading his fiery projectiles while launching strikes to counter his attacks. As the Panda King is defeated, there is no dramatic dialogue exchange. He simply succumbs to defeat, cowering before Sly's triumph. However, Bentley informs Sly of the last remaining Phoenix 5 member's location, hidden within a Russian volcano. Seizing the moment, Sly retrieves another page of the Thievius Raccoonus. The confrontation concludes with Carmelita Fox apprehending the Panda King, marking the restoration of peace.
Retrieving the Panda King section of the Thievius Raccoonus gave me a chance to learn about my technically minded ancestor, Otto Van Cooper. Not known for his physical dexterity, Otto relied on vehicles to aid him in his criminal endeavors. Armed with his designs, I was sure Murray would be able to make some cool modifications to the team van. A frustrated Inspector Fox, having missed me coming down the mountain, threw the Panda King in jail, thus putting an end to his avalanche protection services and ensuring the safety of mountain villages throughout China. My gang and I took a little time off and did some shopping in Hong Kong. Thoroughly relaxed, we headed home to plan our next move.
Final level of gameplay. In the cold heart of hate, Sly looked over the Thievius Raccoonus pages that have been recovered so far, each depicting a shadowy-like owl figure, which looked very similar to the mysterious clockwork found in the police images. After observing this, Sly wondered if this was some sort of strange coincidence or if he was missing something. The gang made their way to Kakarov Volcano, Russia to confront Clockwork. In a hazardous path, the story reaches its climax. The gameplay takes a unique turn. Upon arriving at Kakarot Volcano, the gang encounter a colossal door bearing the path to Clockwork's fortress. To breach this imposing obstacle, Sly manned a newly constructed turret using its firepower to blast the door open. With the way cleared, the gang embarked on the volcanic road, but it was far from an easy journey. The volcanic path was strewn with menacing mines that Sly skillfully cleared to ensure their safe passage. Emerging into a more open area, Bentley identified Clockwork's towering owl-shaped fortress ahead. Yet, their progress was abruptly interrupted as they were ambushed by a swarm of robo-falcons. These mechanical attackers had the potential to knock Sly off the turret, emphasizing the need for swift elimination. Drawing closer to the ominous tower, Bentley's realization struck home. The clock tower was in fact Clockwork's death ray. It unleashed a powerful beam that struck volcanic walls, triggering the descent of massive boulders onto their path. Sly's precision shooting managed to deflect these hazards, but the challenges were far from over. Negotiating additional obstacles and enduring 2 more robo-falcon assaults pushed their skills to the limit. Their efforts brought them to a pivotal juncture, a cavern entrance leading to a lava-filled expanse. However, Sly quickly recognized the challenge. The cave's height was insufficient for the turret to pass unscathed. Urgently, Sly tried to warn Murray before they proceeded. And burning rubber following their challenging journey, the gang faced treacherous volcanic road with the cavern. The van's turret was lost due to the cavern's height. Inside the cave, an intriguing sight awaited. Numerous computers were suspended from the ceiling. The path to continue to Clockwork's fortress required them to analyze 60 of these computers. Murray's accidental destruction of the van's turret meant Bentley had to hack the computer's connection couplings to dislodge them. To gather the computers, Murray maneuvered the van over to them, but the hurdle arose as the cavern swarmed with fire slugs, eager to collect the computers first. With only 119 computers hanging above, Murray had to occupy the fire slugs by collecting 60 computers. His victory prompted the fire slugs to retreat into lava, and Murray drove Sly into the entrance to the control room, housing Clockwork's ominous death ray. The next stage in this linear mission, a daring rescue, Sly embarks on the stage journeying to the fortified control room, where a web of lasers and treacherous booby-trap tiles lie in wait. Within this room, Bentley voices his concerns, urging Sly to exit the vicinity due to the dangerous situation. However, Sly's attention is captured by Carmelita, who is caught in Clockwork's trap. Sly remains determined to save her. Despite Bentley's warning about the potential trap orchestrated by Clockwork, determined, Sly pushes forward. As Sly makes a stealthy advance into the chamber, the door is sealed behind him, presenting a new challenge. His attempt to shatter the sturdy glass with his cane proves futile. Carmelita, upon spotting Sly, becomes suspicious, believing that he orchestrated her imprisonment. Sly tries to explain his intentions of rescuing her, but the situation escalates as the chamber fills with lethal gas, rendering Sly unconscious. Clockwork emerges, the chamber screams, his laughter echoing as he taunts Sly for the sentimental attachment to Carmelita. Clockwork asserts that empathy has historically always been the undoing of the Cooper clan. The next mission marked a significant role for Bentley, his first and only assignment in the entire game. Bentley takes center stage and Bentley comes through, as both Sly and Inspector Carmelita Fox are trapped inside Clockwork's deadly gas chamber. Bentley's hacking expertise becomes a game changer. He must deploy exceptional hacking skills to access one of Clockwork's computers, a pivotal move to shut down the lethal gas. Upon infiltrating the computer's virtual realm, Bentley embarks on a critical quest. He must locate and gather 13 fragments of code racing against the clock imprisoned by the computer's firewall. As his hacking prowess is put to the ultimate test, Bentley emerges victorious in collecting the code fragments, effectively deactivating the toxic gas. This triumph grants Sly and Carmelita the opportunity to escape the situation, thanks to Bentley's intervention. As Sly regained consciousness, he found himself in a dire situation. Swiftly taking action, Sly intervened just in time to save Carmelita Fox from danger. In the aftermath, they found themselves in a predicament that necessitated an unusual alliance, leading to a temporary truce. During this critical juncture, Sly conveyed to Carmelita the notion that despite their different allegiances in the realm of the law, they weren't true adversaries. In a surprising agreement, Carmelita agreed with Sly that their common enemy was none other than Clockwork. Both recognized the gravity of the situation. They needed to unite their forces to confront the menacing threat. In an attempt to thwart the intrusion, Sly engaged the Falcon head-on, but in confrontation resulted in the Falcon snatching Sly's cane. Despite Carmelita's precise shooting, the cane plummeted into the pinnacle of Clockwork's factory. Recognizing the paramount importance of his cane as an essential tool for his endeavors, Sly embarked on a daring sprint to reclaim it. During this endeavor, Carmelita provided cover fire to ensure Sly's safety, much like how Sly ensured Murray's safety in previous levels. With this newly formed truce sustained in the urgency of the situation, Carmelita also imparted strategic suggestion to Sly. She advised him to ascend to the apex of Clockwork's death ray, where she had stashed her jetpack before her capture. Armed with renewed determination, equipped with a recovered cane, Sly embarked on his mission. In the Sinking Pearl mission, after Sly successfully successfully retrieved his cane, his objective was to reach Clockwork's death ray. Carmelita Fox had hidden her jetpack near the death ray before being captured by Clockwork. However, the situation had turned dire. The Metatronic support fields vital to the death ray operation had been obliterated due to Carmelita's gunfire. As a result, the entire contraption is on the brink of collapse. Sly faced a race against time. His mission was to reach the hidden jetpack before lava sealed his fate. In the climactic finale titled A Strange Reunion, Sly regains Carmelita's jetpack and confronts Clockwork directly above his death ray. Recognizing Sly's remarkable efforts, Clockwork reveals that the Coopers always find a way to defy him. Sly questions Clockwork about his age, to which he arrogantly asserts that perfection has no age. Clockwork's profound hatred for the Cooper clan has granted him immortality over thousands of years. As the battle nears, Carmelita warns Sly that her missiles won't harm Clockwork directly, but can puncture holes in his armor, providing weak points to exploit. Guided by Carmelita's assistant, Sly employs the jetpack to evade Clockwork's assault in targeting the Owl's exposed vulnerabilities. Continuous strikes weaken Clockwork until he plummets into the lava below. Yet, Clockwork resurfaces, leading Sly to question why he spared Sly's life when the Phoenix Five stole Thievius Raccoonus. Clockwork's answer reveals his desire to prove the Cooper's lineage inadequacy without the Thievius Raccoonus. Sly counters this, emphasizing that the Thievius Raccoonus is a reflection of great thieves' accomplishments rather than the source of their greatness. This truth enrages Clockwork, prompting a second battle. Eventually, Clockwork falls again, severely damaged this time. Seizing Carmelita's jetpack, Sly descends to engage Clockwork directly before his auto-reconstruct circuitry can activate. Clockwork's final moments are marked by his words that Sly can never escape him in his declaration of supremacy. In this instance, Sly employs his cane to strike Clockwork's damaged head, effectively ending Clockwork. Standing in the catwalk overlooking Clockwork's lair, Sly basks in the triumph of defeating the Phoenix Five and reclaiming his family's legacy. He acknowledges the unwavering support of his two companions throughout the journey. However, this victory marks the end of Sly's partnership with Carmelita, and they revert to their roles, cop and thief, cat versus mouse. Although Sly expects Carmelita to apprehend him immediately, she honors her word, granting him a 10-second head start. In these precious moments, Sly seizes the opportunity to share a kiss with Carmelita before handcuffing her to the catwalk. With Carmelita detained, Sly and his gang escape Kakarot Volcano. While Sly feels guilty for leaving Carmelita stranded, he remains confident that their paths will cross again once more. As the credits roll, we are greeted to a post-credit scene. This time we see Clockwork's eyes shining bright, as if he has survived his defeat.
It took some tricky maneuvering, but I managed to snatch that last piece of the Thievius Raccoonus from Clockwork's claw. I had taken down each member of the Fiendish Five: Raleigh, Mugshot, Ms. Ruby, the Panda King, and finally Clockwork. I'd beaten them all one by one and reclaimed my birthright. Of course, there was no way I could have gotten here without the help of my pals. I know this hasn't been easy for them, yet they stuck with me through it all. Murray, boy, it took a lot of guts for him to get out in the field with me. I know he was scared, but he's got more heart than anyone I've ever known. And thank goodness for Bentley. Without his expertise, I'd have never found my way off that rooftop in Paris. A guy couldn't ask for a better gang of friends. Who could ever forget the lovely Carmelita? Looks like we're not going to be friends anymore. Now that Clockwork's death ray is out of commission, we're back to playing cops and robbers. I thought for sure she was going to slap the handcuffs on me right then and there. But instead, she was true to her word and gave me that 10-second head start. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I felt bad leaving her stranded on that giant rock, but I knew it wouldn't be long before we'd see each other again.
Okay, now that the story mode's complete, Bentley reveals to Sly that the journey isn't over yet. While the Phoenix Five has been vanquished, the Thievius Raccoonus remains incomplete. To fill its pages entirely, two significant objectives remain. The first objective is to discover all the clues and unlock 20 scattered vaults throughout the game. Most vaults contain Thievius Raccoonus pages that unleash powerful abilities, with each power accessible as you unlock the corresponding vault. For instance, the very first vault introspective of its episode or level offers fast dive attack moves. Each episode also features a distinct vault containing containing blueprints pinpointing episode-specific locations. This unique vault is consistently the third one unlocked with that particular area. For example, in the Tide of Terror, the third vault will always hold Riley's operation blueprints on Isle of Wrath. This in turn empowers Sly's binocular to identify breakable items and clue bottles in that episode. However, unlocking all the vaults before confronting Clockwork is impossible. Billy alerts you that the ultimate clue is encoded in Owl dialect, decipherable only after encountering and besting the bird responsible. These vaults, in the quest to complete the Thievius Raccoonus, add depth and replay value to the game. They encourage exploration, mastery of abilities, and revisiting past levels with newfound skills. As players strive to unearth every secret, the game's richness and engagement persists long after the initial story's conclusion. After Clockwork's defeat, unlocking the remaining vaults completes the Thievius Raccoonus, triggering the game's final cutscene.
At long last, the Thievius Raccoonus restored to its original state. The first time I held the whole thing under my arm since I was 8 years old. The same weight that all my ancestors had felt beneath their arms as they had passed it on. Although, while other family members may have been great thieves, they all inherited the book. I got a chance to earn it. I had taken down the Fiendish Five, having used the moves my ancestors taught me, and become a master thief along the way. The time had come for me to chronicle my own adventures into the great book. This is gonna be fun.
After unlocking all 20 vaults, Billy informs Sly that to access the development content of the game, they must conquer all 20 Master Thief sprints spread across the maps. These sprints are engaging time trials that require players to complete levels with specific time limits. To unlock these time trials, player must first unlock the vault with each stage. Once the vault is accessed and the Thievius Raccoonus page is obtained, an hourglass symbol emerges at the level start upon revisiting. Upon contact, a timer materializes indicating the allotted sprint time for the level. It's worth noting that triggering security systems accelerates the countdown. Failing to complete the sprint in time provides the option to restart or exit the level. Successfully conquering the sprint rewards the player with bonus content, an opportunity to enjoy the designer's commentary upon revisiting the level. If all Master Thief sprints are conquered, the player unlocks additional goodies including the making of Sly Cooper, commercials, and outtakes of movies. Although, for the PS3 disc version of the Sly Cooper collection, the commercials have been omitted, although the sprints remain available. Conversely, the digital version retains access to the commentaries. You can easily obtain the Platinum Trophy without completing time trials. Good to know that they're left in for the nostalgia and not the achievements, unless your goal is to 100% the book. Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus isn't just your typical stealth game. It's a masterpiece of design that shines through every detail. From the chosen color palettes to the subtle sound of Sly's cautious footsteps, everything harmonizes seamlessly. The development team did not settle for ordinary visuals. They adopted a unique rendering style known as tube shading. This technique involves merging cel-shaded foregrounds with intricate backgrounds, reminiscent of those seen in animated movies. The goal was to craft a world that felt both illustrated and realistic at the same time. To bring the game's world to life, the team meticulously collected a plethora of reference photos and sketches representing various locations within the game. Even the cutscenes bear a distinctive touch thanks to designer Dav Madan. His visionary approach transformed the game into a comic book-like experience, ensuring that each level was not just another mission, but an engrossing chapter in an unfolding narrative. Playing Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus, one can't just help but marvel at the level design. Each element is meticulously placed, contributing to the game's immersive experience. Each level just isn't a set piece, it's a vivid continuation of the overarching theme. The design is evident as the subsequent stages effortlessly build upon the establishing atmosphere. In essence, what sets this game apart isn't merely the stealth mechanics, it's the design philosophy that threads to the visual sounds and storytelling, creating a captivating and cohesive gaming experience. Now, something I haven't praised enough on this game is the four main characters, starting with the protagonist, Sly Cooper, who is inspired by raccoons. Normally, raccoons aren't blue, they're usually black. But it makes you ask yourself, why blue? Well, blue symbolizes royalty. In the game, we learn that Sly hails from a lineage of master thieves known as the Cooper Gang. Using blue for Sly cleverly reflects on his clan's kingship. Next up is Bentley. The green box turtle. Yes, turtles are often green, but green also signifies ingenuity and learning. Bentley's role involves gathering crucial facts to drive the Cooper gang forward. The choice of green perfectly aligns with Bentley's smart and resourceful persona. Moving on to Murray, we have a hippopotamus. The main color for Murray is the common color for an animal, pink. Looking up what pink means as a personality, we see that it represents loving, kind, sensitive individual, often with a strong, nurturing, sensual side. Throughout the game, Maury is perceived as a lovable goof character who definitely has a soft, sensual side. Lastly, we have Inspector Carmelita Fox. Designed as a red fox, red signifies boldness, energy, and vivacy. Carmelita's fiery pursuit of Sly demonstrates her energetic and forceful persona. In summary, the characters' colors tell a story about their personalities. Blue for Sly's royal lineage, green for Bentley's smarts, pink for Maury's warmth, and red for Carmelita's dynamic energy. This clever use of color adds depth to the characters, enhancing our connection to their stories. Okay, after delving into the entire story of Sly Cooper and Thievius Raccoonus, my feelings are quite clear. Sucker Punch's decision to leave Microsoft in the 90s seemed like the right call. Although it's an important note, while this game isn't perfect, it's undeniably close to perfection. Sly Cooper's standout feature lies in its graphics. The game boasts an exquisite sense of style that resonates in every aspect, from animations to its innovative use of cel shading polygons. The cel shading technique is skillfully employed, accentuating items that need the emphasis in the backdrop. This creates a delightful cartoon-like quality reminiscent of Scooby-Doo. Even the game section is seamlessly introduced through a captivating video cutscenes that artfully tie into the world's narrative together. Remarkable feat, this game's camera, which impressively is effective for a 3D platformer. The linear level design allows the camera to adeptly showcase your next destination. Yet, it's worth noting, while graphics are exceptional, there are noticeable slowdown issues at later levels that doesn't heavily affect gameplay, but can be a bit of a bother. The game's sound holds its own. Music is a high point, as the tracks aptly complements the scenes, adjusting interactively as your actions change. While sound effects are satisfactory, they sometimes don't stand out distinctively from the rest of the game's audio. Voice work across the game is decent, though some dialogues tend to lean towards being overly cliched at times. Sly's character in particular could have been portrayed as a slightly cooler, as he occasionally comes off as too self-assured. Sly Cooper and Thievius Raccoonus falls just a few levels short of greatness. The narrative holds, graphics are stunning, and the gameplay is enjoyable, even if it leans towards the easier side. However, the downside arises when you're truly getting into the rhythm, savoring the diversity across worlds and levels, only to find the game coming to an end. The abrupt ending, while leaving players craving more, might be disappointing considering the game can be completed in just a few sessions. The pursuit of collecting bottles and racing against the clock doesn't contribute significantly to the replay value. Consequently, you're left with a short and sweet game that's perfect for a rental experience. One-hit deaths can be slightly frustrating in challenging segments, but life meters would have been more excessively easy. Moreover, most enemies can be eliminated with a single cane swing. The game introduces stealth situations primarily involving evading laser beams, spotlights, and alarm floor panels. Being caught carries severe consequences, such as getting shot by homing rockets if spotted by armed dogs. Dispatching guards from behind relatively straightforward, ensuring direction only if you lose sight of your surroundings. The game's boss fights typically revolve around a pattern of recognition, and Bentley is on hand to provide helpful hints. In the end, skilled platform gamers might complete this game in under 8 hours. The levels incorporate extra objectives like locating hidden bottles, leading to vaults containing pages of Thievius Raccoonus. While these additional moves enhance gameplay, they aren't imperative to finishing the game. Some of the levels take on minigame format like turn-based cover fire or submarine shooting. These diversions contribute a variety to the gameplay. The standard levels are detailed and linear, allowing a straightforward path without causing confusion. Although Sly Cooper isn't a cakewalk, its difficulty primarily arises from Sly's vulnerability to a single hit. Collecting coins can slightly raise his resilience, but it's not as effortless as having a replenishable life bar. But that's for another video. Sly Cooper and Thievius Raccoonus gets 9 pages out of 10. If you enjoyed this retrospective, don't forget to hit that like button to show your appreciation. And if you haven't already, I encourage you to drop a comment below with your thoughts on Sly Cooper or any other classic games you'd like me to explore in the future. Also, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell so you never miss out on future retrospective. Your support means the world to me. This is the Retrospective, signing out.